Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Why is it that the victims of narcissistic abuse end up in therapy, but never the narcissist? Have you ever thought about that? Why is it that the very person who should be in therapy is the only one who's not in therapy? Well, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about that very thing. So what is the goal of narcissistic abuse? What is the narcissist's main objective when they enter into a relationship with you? It is to make you feel crazy, and they do a damn good job of it. They use all of the tricks in the book, from gaslighting, blame shifting, projection, deflection, all of these things that are textbook from relationship to relationship. It's like they all went to the same school for narcissists and they all carried around the same narcissist textbook. But they can't make you feel crazy or make you think that you're crazy overnight. So like a slow drip feed over time, they gradually destroy your confidence, your self-esteem, and your ability to trust your instincts. And because it happens slowly over time, you don't notice that it's happening, often until it's too late and you are so enmeshed with this person and dependent on them for everything, including your self-worth. For those of you who have read my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, you might remember the story or the analogy of the frog in the water that I used to describe how narcissistic abuse creeps up on you and you don't sometimes even realize that you're being abused because it's so gradual. So the frog jumps into the pot of water. It's nice and tepid, the water on the stove. Someone comes along and turns the heat up ever so slightly. And the frog doesn't notice that the heat is increasing. It's getting hotter. So it swims around having a wonderful time, and that heat just gets gradually hotter and hotter. But it happens so gradually that the frog doesn't notice. And before the frog knows what's happening, the water is boiling and it can't escape and it boils to death. So I just want you to remember that story when you are saying to yourself, how did I get to this place when I just don't know who I am anymore? I have no idea how I got here. I want you to remember that you didn't feel the water increasing in heat. It wasn't noticeable until it was too late. It's okay to look back now and see the red flags, but you were conditioned not to see them at the time. And of course, the narcissist very skillfully or manipulatively conditions you to believe that everything that is wrong with you is your fault. And not only that, those things that are wrong with you are what is causing all the problems in this relationship. So what do? You can't trust your instincts, remember, and you rely on the narcissist for what your reality is, and you believe them. You are filled with anxiety. You are depressed, you are having trouble in just completing very, very minor tasks in your day because you can't concentrate, etc. So what do as a normal person? You seek help. Now, I just need to let you know that in all of the thousands of clients that I have counseled in their narcissistic abuse recovery, I think there would be very few who wouldn't have attended counseling prior to coming to see me on their own as an individual seeking help for their individual issues because they've got anxiety, depression, and they're just feeling horrible. And of course, they're wanting to fix what's going wrong in their relationships, which are impacting just about every facet of their lives. By the way, guys, if you would like to have a one-on-one Zoom counseling session with me, no matter where you are in the world, please just see my website link in the description. Now, if you are attending counseling because you are suffering from anxiety, depression, everything feels like it's just caving in around you, your world is crumbling, you feel like you've been hit by a train, then that is because you are able to reflect on your behavior. You have the capacity for introspection, and you're also able to acknowledge that you may have flaws and that seeking help from someone else is okay. And the reason you can do that is because you're not a narcissist, and you can sit there with someone else who may potentially point out some flaws that you have or may give you some constructive criticism, which of course a narcissist would take as having acid thrown in their face because of their hairline trigger for criticism. But you're able to sit there with someone who has a profession that has the skills that you don't have. You're able to listen to someone and get that feedback and seek their support. In other words, you have the ability to change. The reason you want to change your life is because you're abused. It's not your fault. But nonetheless, you have that desire to change your life, to change your circumstances. The narcissist refuses to change because simply they don't think there is anything wrong with themselves. But for those of you who attended counseling on your own, you will probably remember that it was a lose-lose situation because you went to counseling, potentially pushed into counseling to fix your problems by the narcissist in your life, and then you were punished for doing so. If you were medicated, then the narcissist would berate you for being on pills. And the fact that you're going to counseling reinforces the narcissist crazy argument that there really is something wrong with you because you're the one who's going to counseling, they're not, so you must be crazy. If you do seek medical support in the form of, let's say, antidepressants or similar, then the narcissist loves to use that against you. Look, I'm not the one who's on pills. Or if they bait you into an argument, they'll say things like, you need to go back and get your medication checked or get it upped or something like that. Basically, they'll ridicule you for getting help and doing the very thing they told you to do, which was to go and get support, get help, get medicine, whatever it takes. You're then ridiculed and punished for doing that very thing. So if we take into account that The objective of every narcissist is to make you feel crazy. They want you confused 100% of the time. And with confusion comes along all of those horrible feelings because you're in a constant state of fight or flight or walking on eggshells all the time. And we also factor in that the narcissist is blaming you for the way you're feeling and the way you're acting. It's all your fault. You've got something wrong with you. And then we factor in that as a normal person with the ability to reflect on our behavior and to be able to seek help from others, then you are going to want to fix what's wrong with you, in inverted commas. And it's more likely than not that you will go and seek out a therapist or a counselor, a professional. That's what they do to help you with your issues. You take all of those things into account, and it makes perfect sense that a victim of narcissistic abuse is going to do whatever it takes to feel better, to make the pain end, and to fix whatever is going wrong in their lives. If they have the capacity to fix it, they'll do what it takes. So now we know why it's normal, if not completely an expected thing to do, for a victim to attend counseling. Let's take a look at why the narcissist never will. Let me retract that. I probably shouldn't say they never attend counseling. Let me say the narcissist does attend counseling if they wish to, but it's only ever to manipulate the counselor and to re-traumatize you. And of course, if they've been court ordered to do so, but that doesn't change the fact that they're only attending because they have to, and the fact that they will still manipulate the counselor and gain absolutely no insights into their behavior, or they wouldn't be a narcissist. So if we reflect on once again the fact that the narcissist has conditioned you to feel crazy, and they've conditioned you to believe that your crazy feelings and behaviors, etc., are your fault, they have nothing to do with it, and that you need to seek help because there's something wrong with you, then why would the narcissist go to therapy? Because that would be implying that not only were they wrong, perhaps, but they had flaws and that there was something actually wrong with them. And of course, they're not going to sit in a therapist's office and have a therapist potentially talk down to them or tell them that they've got some part of their life or some part of their personality that they should change and or fix. So the narcissist or someone with NPD is probably the only disorder there is where everyone around the person with the disorder ends up in therapy rather than the person who has the disorder, the very person who should be in therapy. The narcissist will never attend counseling with the hope of changing something in themselves because, as I said earlier, they don't think anything needs fixing, and they want you to believe that you're broken. And if you're going to counseling, then that is proof that you're broken. In reality, narcissistic personality disorder is actually a shame-based disorder, but they will cover that shame and those vulnerabilities that go along with that shame. They will cover that up at all costs. So there's always that deep-seated fear of exposure, being inadequate, and they're not going to sit across from a professional counselor who might expose those vulnerabilities to them. And of course, for those of you who have been to counseling, have attended therapy, you will know that it's about self-reflection, self-awareness. If you can't open up and dig deep and examine your feelings with that counselor that you trust, then what's the point of going to counseling? And that's exactly what a narcissist cannot do or refuses to do. And that is to engage in self-reflection. If they did that, they might see some extremely ugly things that would frighten them. And also because the narcissist thinks they're better, smarter, more powerful than every other mere mortal, they're not going to sit across from a stupid therapist whose only degree is to psychoanalyze. They're not going to sit across from someone like that and have them tell the narcissist what to do. Therapy is beneath the narcissist. That's for people who have real mental health issues. And they already know everything there is to know. And no therapist is going to be smart enough to understand them because they're special. So to summarize, the victim attends counseling because they've been harmed. That doesn't mean they always understand why they're attending counseling or that what is going on in their life is even abuse. So to summarize, the victim goes to counseling to get help and to get advice, to get support because they want to be happy again. They want to validate what's going on for them and to stop feeling crazy. The narcissist will never go to therapy unless, of course, they're trying to manipulate someone because they will never take responsibility and they want you to be the one who's attending counseling so they can continue to convince you that there really is something wrong with you. And of course, because simply they just don't think they need to. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. I hope you found that episode insightful, guys. Don't forget, if you'd like to have a one-on-one Zoom counseling session with me, please see my website, link in the description. And don't forget to get your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love. You'll also find a link in the description. Now, until tomorrow's episode, I want you all to remember that you are worthy of love and you are certainly worthy of a whole lot more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.